town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reviewing like a beast, no one does it clever.
Wow. Wow. No yeet here in the house of DeMarco. I am Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you live, bringing you into somewhere, reviewing Monday Night Raw from June 9th, 2025. And wow, even though that was my prediction, I didn't think I was giving out spoilers or that it was going to be a full-on reality. But here with me to break this all down as we work through our feelings is my man, myth, and legend himself, my other work husband, Cody Oneedy316. What's going on, bud?
What's going on? What a fucking show tonight. We had a great show top from bottom.
Yeah,
maybe
really
I'll
good Raw.
question the main event a little bit, but it was a good match nonetheless. I just have questions about the creative decision going into that, but not to take away from a great Raw. We got a great women's fatal four-way. We got a great men's fatal four-way.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan cut an amazing promo on Nikki Bella.
Top notch, incredible. Because I love how when Nikki comes out and she's like, oh, well, I did everything, I paved the way. And then she was like, bitch, you ain't got none. You're just jealous. And it
I've
rings
seen some
true.
people already
So.
saying I told you so that Liv Morgan isn't going babyface, but this is a reasonable way to be pissed off. She was already heated in the moment.
This is going to be
the loss in the fatal four-way. And
yeah, that'll be the match at Evolution. That's going to be a great feud regardless. And apparently at Night of Champions, we're supposed to be getting, that's when Dominic is going to be turned on by Finn. It seems to be building towards that. We don't have long to wait anyhow, just a couple of weeks. So
people are telling me
Liv
Liv isn't turning face anymore. I'm like, you can see the signs of it because Finn again tonight cackling and laughing. And then a few weeks in a row now, Liv's just been stepping it up saying, I want to do it by myself. Leave me alone.
She's been great. And yeah,
tonight she
I
stepped
saw
up
some
to the legend.
Exactly, and she did well. The legend, that kills me. But
yeah,
I no hate on Nikki, but that she was definitely Liv was the highlight of that. You know, Liv was certainly the highlight of that entire segment. Here's the issue: the way they finished this tonight, I'm not really a fan of. I mean, they kind of killed the Yeet movement, didn't they? I mean, they went behind an executed style, you know, bang bang, click click, boom boom. Sorry, a few desk pops later, they took out the Yeet, and I mean, he's no longer champ. He lost to Gunther, but I thought it would have been through shenanigans, chaos, some kind of something, anything. But instead, it just...
That's what I was assuming, too.
It was a straight-up match.
There had to be a cash-in.
Yeah.
I thought Goldberg would come in and attack Gunther after the win, and then
anything at all. He just got the belt and walked away, and not even a tease or a hint or a smell of Seth Rollins anywhere near that moment. If I was Seth, I would be cashing in right then and there.
I like the teases at least. There was not last night. I'm thinking pay-per-views are on Sundays. Oh, man, not pay-per-views, PLEs.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm all over the place now. You got Money in the Bank Saturday night, both world champions in the main event, and no tease then. And you don't have a tease tonight. There should have been some tease within the span of Saturday and tonight.
I may not have been the biggest J fan. And look, TSS2, great to see you in the chat. And thank you for everybody that's popping in the chat. I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank you all. You know, it's one of those nights where you're like, wrong answers only. And it just seems to be what's going on the Twitter/X side of things. People are just calling this the worst Raw ever. And I know they're going by the emotion. Yeah, because of that, because Jay lost his title. You've got a bunch of people being like, show me worst Raw.
No offense to Jey Uso. I don't think he's the greatest in the ring, but anyway, nonetheless, he's over as all hell. Great for him. But I think Gunther will do better with the World Heavyweight Championship when it comes to match quality.
Yeah, there's storylines and ways to go in all of that. So Jay will recover. He's still extremely over. It's not going to kill him, but it's not a great look. Like, you did all that to beat Gunther after losing to him, 3 times beforehand? You finally get his number, and then today... they were trying ever so hard to play up on the he's been in so many matches, he's beat up, that angle of it. Well, if that was the case and he was going to lose the belt, why not just have him be injured?
And I don't agree
Go
with
into the
Gunther
match
winning
with
it either
bruised
full on.
ribs or something.
I think personally that Seth Rollins should be the world heavyweight champion right now. I think Gunther shouldn't have one. You either I don't want Gunther getting pinned either. I think you either, or if you were gonna have Gunther get pinned, Goldberg could have showed up.
But see, that's the thing. Like you just mentioned, we had heard and have known about Goldberg's retirement for well over a year now. Like that was easily leaked outwards, and that spread like herpes. And I am Ryan. We all became Ryan, and everybody got it. So we all talked about it. Oh, he's gonna. But then they had the interaction at Bad Blood, and it's like, oh, it's not just an interaction off, one-time thing. Like, oh, it makes sense. They're doing it in storyline. Look, you see that? They're gonna have the match at some point. So we've always had this like looming serial killer that is Goldberg. He's just stalking behind us every which way, everywhere you look. Goldberg. He's coming for Gunther. We know what's going to happen. Are they doing it in the Atlanta weekend that they have planned for Great American Bash and all that? Or are they going for SummerSlam? Why are they having the biggest news thing of the night? CM Punk and John Cena in Saudi Arabia. Hello? I mean, if we're going to break down anything, we got to start at the top, folks. And this night...
Which I want to get to real quick.
Whew,
people are mad saying CM Punk's a hypocrite. That's supposed to be the point people in WWE fans
that's supposed to... I know.
Or AEW fans especially.
But because Punk was speaking in reality and then now in kayfabe, he's being pushed. Like you could tell if Punk was not willing to go to Saudi, maybe he has to go. Maybe they are forcing him. Like, you want your job, you got to go. But damn, I don't know.
Probably not that, because TKO's not messing with him. CM Punk's just one of those guys.
He probably got asked, hey, this is our plan. There's a story purpose for it. Yeah. We're going to have, Cena basically be like, you want this title? Then you're going to have to come to me and get it. And where am I going to be?
Punk's
in Saudi Arabia, bitches.
Guys,
drinking with the king, cutting people's heads off. Bone
CM Punk's one of those
ready.
guys, though. They're probably like, what do you want? What gets you over there? The TKO in Saudi probably offered him a lot of money to go.
Those guys they got John Cena and 3 goddamn pirates and the king himself, and they're all sitting there with the prince's throne and drinking and smoking hookahs while they're beheading journalists. They're all just like,
People said, how much did TKO pay Punk to go there? What do you think?
Just cutting through journalists' heads in the background. Cena, I could see it. He is a twisted individual. Anybody that has that many house rules has definitely beheaded somebody before. They know about messes. They want to clean them. How does Seth not cash in on them now? Why telegraph that? Because if he doesn't cash in on the Saudi match, then what was the point of him coming out tonight? Just to be the threat? Well, then why not be the threat against Jey Uso?
Does that mean Seth and his group are going over to SmackDown?
Exactly what I mean. So a lot of this is just, and Seth's been making such a stink about Jey Uso and Jay's title, and I wouldn't disagree, but then Raw is going to suck. We need the heel stable on one side or the other to elevate these shows. This is the problem.
This is why end the fucking brand split.
Well, that's a huge thing, and there's no way Punk's winning, so that's even besides that. But I'm saying they could have Seth cash in, but that'd be a waste because you're not taking the belt from Cena. There's a story they're telling. I love how everybody's like, oh, they brought R-Truth back.
Again.
But they said they brought R-Truth back because he's going to be the last one Punk faces to redeem his soul. Like, they've already got it that far. They might have things planned out, but people that are believing this is a work.
Championship. Mark my words. I think R-Truth takes that title from Cena.
I think they're doing something with it now. They're going to build up because he's now no longer R-Truth. He's Ron, the Truth Killings. The former,
I think Ron Killings,
NWA champion when they had, the TNA early on days. Here's the thing, though. There's so many moments and stakes and counterpoints at play. Like, it's hypocritical in a sense, but not entirely. And the thing with Punk is it's like he's being dragged to hell, metaphorically and possibly figuratively, how hot it gets over there, to go and fight Cena at, basically where he doesn't want to be. I like
how that was done, though. Like,
that's
if you
done
want
well.
a shot at my title, you're not getting it where you want because CM Punk wanted it tonight. CM is like, you're not getting
Exactly.
it tonight, and you get a championship match. If you want a championship match, you're going to the place that you despise and hate the most. So you have to
Exactly.
suck up your pride, be a hypocrite in front of the world, to be a hero, and face me for the WWE Championship. And is that match confirmed yet? Or
For Punk and Cena,
yeah,
yes, it is. They have confirmed it for Night of Champions. So,
so CM,
Kratos in the chat, how you doing, bud? He says, anyone else believe that Gunther won as a punishment to the fans who wanted truth back? I don't think Gunther winning is a punishment for anything. I think this has always been their storyline. They wanted the feel-good moment at WrestleMania for Jay to win the title, celebrate with his son. All that happened. But the plan was always for Gunther to have the belt. Because if they didn't have it planned this way, if Jay wasn't already in a tag match at Money in the Bank, which they played into this, being like, hey, you were too focused on that. Now you come in here injured. You're not at 100%. We get to take the title.
right?
So them doing that and having it not basically a random episode of Raw for them to do it. What's going on, Casey? Liz in the chat as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you guys for subscribing, hitting the like button. It helps out immensely. I appreciate it greatly. Make sure you hit that bell. You'll know when we're live. We actually have NXT to cover this week. That's going to be a great episode. Got to see what's going on there with Mariah and May. And is she like, March Mercedes too? Like, we don't know what the hell is going to happen there, but I am excited. In chat, I was asking, what's your favorite match moment? What from Raw did you love the most? Let me know. Tell us. Keep the Banana Army going strong in the Banana Club. So, yeah, there's so many different ways this could go with Truth, with, how they brought him back. There's so many different ways things can go with the women's division at this point in time and who turns it. But it felt like no matter what, this was planned a while ago for Jay to lose the title tonight. The way they set it up, they had Gunther come out a month ago and say, I'm challenging you then. And we were like, well, why not at a PLE? Why not Money in the Bank? Why not? And it just so it always felt like it had, again, that shadow looming. It was the the monster you couldn't hide under your sheets from, and not Vince in this case. Yeah, no kidding.
That's what have taken it.
Yeah, so. And as much as people are going around right now and praising Triple H for listening and all these things, a few insiders had pointed out that he is very against fans hijacking. He hates when fans, that's why he's got such a negative opinion of the fans. And you've heard him many a times now. We have all these examples, where he's just shitting on fans, fandoms, telling people to be fans, not critics. He wants people to watch but not talk about it in any constructive way. Criticism be damned, just enjoy the product.
We're gonna upcharge everything, the merchandise, tickets, and everything, but you're not allowed to have an opinion on anything. Just give us your fucking money.
So
give us your money.
For anybody that thinks hiring R-Truth and firing R-Truth and then hiring him back was a storyline or it's a work, no. He was let go. Truth has been there for a very long time. He has tenured seniority in the sense of his contract
immediately.
Exactly.
Triple H said it was all part of the show, and R-Truth immediately said, nope,
it wasn't. And he mentioned many factors, but there's still people that believe, like, oh, this is some great storyline. They lucked out again.
So do him and Triple H have some issues? Because
it certainly seems to be. People in the backstage, morale's happier that he's back, but there are issues. Apparently, Truth would not answer the phone from anyone from WWE. He just was not talking to anybody. He said he was upset. He wanted nothing to do with it, and he was done. He felt betrayed. How all I've done for you guys, and you can't match my. I guess they sent him an offer.
Whatsoever.
They sent him an offer that was like super low. Allegedly, it was like piss poor, and that's really. That sucks.
Okay. I gotta ask this because people are comparing. I want to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
If this was Vince, does R-Truth ever get let go?
No, Vince would have absolutely. He stated before he wouldn't let him go.
I think Vince really loved R-Truth, in my personal opinion.
Supposedly, Vince is very upset with how everything's being handled right now, and what I think happened is,
which I agree. I don't agree with anything Vince is. The people
but here's the problem: Vince was not putting on good TV. Triple H can. I think Triple H lost most of his power when The Rock came in, because if you look at the short time where it was just Triple H booking, and you're like, oh, we're getting Damage Control made, and the Bloodline stories improving, like all these things were going very well.
we went like 3 months in a row with amazing Monday Night Raws.
And then
Like,
what happened? All of a sudden, it slowed down. It changed a little. It wasn't just because, oh, we finished one part of the story, or it's because the board got involved and made decisions, like The Rock coming in at Bad Blood for no reason with the 3 count that led to nowhere. Oh, and now John's healed, but I'm not going to do anything. And the board of directors, Ari Emanuel, excuse me, I'll screw that up. You know, he and others being able to step in and give their thoughts on what to do next. A lot of it has just, you know, so Triple H hates fan backlash. He does not like people hijacking the show. So I know he was
I
not
just
happy
find
with
it
the
hilarious,
situation
though,
of
how
him
much
hiring
they
Truth
charge,
back.
but don't like fan backlash. It's
Yeah, it's not.
funny.
They didn't expect that they were going to get any backlash of this magnitude. They expected that people were going to be upset, but not angry. They thought that just like the other releases, because they just let go a bunch of people. And it wasn't this major. You didn't have
Like-
people chanting at every show, "Bring back Braun Strowman." You know,
Well,
it
here's
just
the difference. Like, R-Truth gets the pop of the night every time he appears. You hear the pops he gets. We can go back and listen to each. and
oh,
every pop he
absolutely.
gets.
But that's the thing. I don't think they valued R-Truth to how much he was worth with the connection he has with the fans. They were worried
So it
about,
looks like
we're
the
paying him
comedy's
this
going
much.
that way.
Yeah, well, you know what? He'll still do some silly things, I guarantee, but he wants to be himself and he wants to make an impact. And I'm hard pressed to argue with that. That's for sure.
See, I don't think someone just texted me. My friend just texted me. He's listening to the show, but like, I think if they
Glad to
hijacked
hear you.
an R-Truth thing with Vince in charge, I think our Vince would have no problem pushing R-Truth in the main event scene against John Cena because how much Vince actually valued Truth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It never would have happened. He wouldn't have been let go. So they have options. Yeah, Jay can enter King of the Ring now. Like that, he could be the surprise entrant, maybe. But I'm curious who that surprise person is going to be. We'll see
No, I don't.
as
I
they
think
build
it's
to
going to be
next
a
week.
bigger
But
guy because I don't think it's going to be Jay. That's a mismatch for the pattern they're going there. Rusev,
Yeah.
Sheamus, and Bronson Reed.
it's
You gotta
a
think there's
banger of a
someone.
match. So who's someone bigger that they
Maybe
could
Drew
have?
McIntyre's back.
Maybe
never
that's
know.
a
Maybe.
really quick turnaround for him. You know, I don't know though.
I
So
mean, like, just look at the people in the match. I think Drew would fit that.
oh yeah. And you see it
Well-
with Triple H, he's not able to always have how he likes to book things. So he's basically, he hates the
Tonight
counter
looked like a
arguments
show he
against him.
booked.
Oh, absolutely. And he usually books well, but it's the input from others that he's getting frustrated with. Not just the fans,
doesn't
but
know
from the
anything
board.
about the
and,
company.
yeah. So
They don't know any.
it's been problematic in its own right. I predicted that Gunther was going to win back when they announced this match, not because I wanted to see Jay lose, but because it just was the only thing that made sense as to why they were scheduling this here and now and not at
And you know what?
anywhere else.
LA
Money
Knight
in
was
the Bank.
Why didn't they just let LA Knight win the Money in the Bank at this point? I mean,
I wonder that
Seth
as
needed to
well.
cash-
It's I don't know. Seth could get the belt without, because he was, and that's the thing too. Seth was stalking Jay this entire time and working on him and trying to take the belt off of him. So now that
Now he's
Gunther has it,
stalking Cena.
why would he not go ahead and cash in tonight on Gunther? Why would he not?
Because those are the two people he confronted.
I even still, I feel like if he wanted something, he
they,
could
like-
take it at this point. So he doesn't need the
They
briefcase.
zigzag around everything. It just doesn't make any sense. That's another reason why I don't think Seth Rollins should have won the Money in the Bank briefcase because he's Seth Rollins. Oh, I want a world title shot. You got it.
Earlier today, though,
That's
it was
the kinda
announced that
name value
Seth
he has.
Rollins was going to be feuding with LA Knight. And I'm like, interesting. How the
Yeah,
hell are they going to
but-
pull that off? Well, we saw later on that,
Maybe
that's
they're
coming to
gonna pivot
fruition. I think
And,
that, yeah, they're going to
Seth's
start
gonna
with,
put the briefcase on the line
yeah. I don't think so with that, but I think they're going to have a
I mean,
hell of a match.
because there was a lot of
Maybe.
backlash with that. I don't know.
I don't think they'll trade the hands of the briefcase, but it could be. I mean, the mysterious person could be Joe Hendry. That would be great, right? I'd pop for that, certainly.
I don't think he fits that either. I think what they're going with, I would like it too, but I think they're going with just a bigger, meaty guy, if you get what I mean.
I get what you mean. So,
Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, it has to fit that mold, I think.
it's got to be. I don't know who it could be though. Maybe somebody in the chat has an idea. You guys let us know down below. But
My only
again-
thoughts would be like Drew McIntyre.
So much to have highlighted tonight. You know, we got the promo from R-Truth, the opening with Punk and Cena, which was great. The interruption by Seth builds an interesting angle onto it. The two qualifying fatal four-ways were damn good. AJ and Chad Gable was a really good match. And I like what they said, the Flash clash, the Flash Styles clash at the end. That was great. Commentary was a good pairing tonight. I liked Wade and Cole because Pat wasn't there tonight for reasons. I thought Wade Barrett really
Why
held
wasn't
his
he there?
own, and I'm not sure. But yeah, between that, the qualifiers, the wonderful promo that Liv did on and to Nikki Bella, there's a lot to be excited for. So we're going to get into all of it. Let us know, like I said in the chat down below, what was your favorite moment of the night, guys, and what would you give Raw out of 10? You know, I'm curious. Give it your rating. So. All in all, though, I was very impressed with this episode. You know, it was entertaining. It flew by, and I just was thoroughly entertained. I would love to see no more commercial breaks and make you pay a higher tier on Netflix or something. I only wish that was an option, but I get it. I actually like Pat McAfee on commentary as well. I was surprised at how well the replacement with having Wade show up worked. It worked very well tonight, though. So they were at the Phoenix, Arizona PHX Arena. And as I said before, it's June 9th. So they had some great opening shots like they do. The drones are fun to watch. If only they can get them in a little bit of a higher quality. And then John Cena makes his entrance, and he does his kind of shtick. You know, he's tired of the fans saying that he's just a sideshow comedian. And, you know, I'm tired of people that tried to be me, and basically saying R-Truth. You know, he's like, you're all the keyboard warriors. You're just idiots. And you have no influence. You think you do. But don't forget, when I started out, I told you how many dates I had. And then he counts down where he's been. And he's like, now we're
I like
left.
that counter.
I do too. It
I
is
like that.
impactful. So now we're down to 19. And it's good to have that pop up every now and again. And the lower it gets, you're going to be like, oh shit, we really are running out of time. So then
Is Ron Killings or R-Truth, whatever you like to call him. I think I'll still always have the habit of calling him R-Truth.
oh, absolutely.
Do you think R-Truth is the one that turned Cena back babyface?
That's what I'm hearing people say. I think it's just fan speculation and no actual report. But it makes sense.
Since we're on the topic of Cena, like,
it's got to be Ron Cena to bring back John Cena. I get it.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Who are your top 3 contenders of dethroning Cena?
It would have been Punk. I'll say R-Truth now. And I would love to see Joe Hendry had appear just to have a match, not take the title. For a third, I would.
Yeah, they definitely need to do Joe Hendry and Cena.
Yeah, I hope that happens. It might happen in Australia, I guess, when they're at the takeover. So from what I was reading, that Joe Hendry is going to be there for some PR thing, and because Cena's going to be at the Australia shows, they're going to do it there and make a big deal out of it. So that's cool. I'm like, all right, go for it. Whatever. It's not Scotland, but it's still overseas. Works for us. Probably my number 3 would be like Bronson Reed, maybe, or Braun Breaker. I would like somebody young.
Braun Breaker would be a good one.
Yeah, somebody young and hungry to really elevate that would be crazy. I mean, maybe that's too much.
I think my top contender right now is R-Truth.
Yeah, they kind of set themselves up into this. Then
I think it has to be him.
What are they going to do? Are they going to book different, or are they just going to ignore the fans? And you can't tell me it was a work because they were taking, talents T-shirts and making them change. They were telling them they couldn't wear R-Truth merch. They could wear Carlito merch, but not R-Truth. I guess Dom let that slip by and wasn't.
I think Liv wore it on her gear too. She had like Carlito on her. But said Carlito on.
It was funny though, because it wasn't like they didn't want the R-Truth stuff to blow up more than it already had, and they got to the point where
the dirt sheet said like literally every person and talent on that roster sent a complaint.
Like,
literally
everybody. Oh, they were very upset and blindsided, and they were scared for their job.
There wasn't a person that didn't, apparently. It was
exactly.
Like everyone,
they were like, hey, if you don't have job security for him, someone we thought would be a long career guy, then what's with us? Are we just on the chopping block? And as I was saying before, it was Nick Khan that went ahead and called and got a hold of R-Truth. So once he and Ron talked, They worked out some finer details, and he got him hired again. And Nick does not make those type of personal calls. So that's, I guess, what motivated
Because
R-Truth. Interesting enough.
I have a like, it's really, if you're not Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, or Becky Lynch, I think you're can be good as done to them at any point in time, unfortunately.
Plus, like Cody just said, they saw a money opportunity. That was my next point. Think about how much merchandise they're selling of the Ron Cena shirts, the R-Truth, the We Want Truth shirts are out, all that kind of stuff. So they're
TKO
raking it in hand
didn't
over
even know
fist.
how much money at first R-Truth was bringing in with the top merch seller and everything, and they let him go. Then they're like, oh shit, he actually sells a lot of merch. Bring the ass back here.
Exactly. And it's because, like I said, it's the higher up seeing just the bottom line. Oh, he costs X amount per year, $5 million. I know it's not that much, but to make numbers easy, well, offer.
I think it was like $1 million, then going down to like 400,000.
I heard 450 for the lowest offer, and it was at supposedly 1.5. So
yeah,
that's
okay.
like
I think anyone would fucking decline that.
Yeah, that's
like
a $1.1 million cut. Yeah, exactly. That's rough. So I don't know. Nick Khan, again, saving the day for the company. I mean, he was one that got into Punk's ear because they had worked together with the talent agency and whatnot. I'm just curious to see where it goes, but this was not a work. This was a shoot. They hire this man back and make it work for him to come in.
If The Rock took credit for that. Like,
he will eventually. Oh, I was watching this R-Truth guy, and I saw what he was cooking. I could smell it. Yeah, exactly. I got the goosebumps. Don't give me any more of that shit.
They seem to be mentioning him again lately. I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not falling for it.
I think it's just the talent doing as they want, because they're not really doing it on commentary and things of that nature. They're just doing it like Punk brings it up. And
what are you going to say to CM Punk if he
exactly? So Punk said a lot tonight, and the promo that he cut on John Cena with his Ramones sweatshirt on, the one that he had, I believe, on the Ariel Helwani podcast. I always say that backwards. So he's like, it's odd to be in these shoes because I'm not defending TKO. I'm not defending the billionaires. I'm not defending the establishment. I'm defending the people. Are you mad because the establishment picked you, but the fans never did? Like, so many great lines. And he just keeps going. He's like, I'm not there to kiss the final boss's ass like you are. And he's like, the people are my boss. And then Cena holds up the belt and they boo him. And these two experts know exactly what to do. Shut the fuck up. They just stay quiet and they let the fans chant obscenities.
Yep. And
it was glorious. And they didn't censor it out. They didn't censor out fuck you, Cena, or anything. They just let it ring out. And Punk's like, you know what? I'm here to make sure that people get what they want. And if they want the truth, I'm going to give them Ron Killings. And I was like, yeah, throw that line in there. There's a little bit of that pipe bomb energy. It was harkened back. And there's so many elements of how Punk is acting. And you know, that was John back when they, the role reversal, two sides of the coin, the yin and the yang. And they've just, the parallels are there. And it's so obvious. And it's great storytelling, Punk was the bad guy, John was the good guy. Now the role reversal, but they're each basically portraying a mirror image of what the other one was at the time they last faced off. So it's a really cool iteration to add to the story that is John Cena's retirement year. Even if his heel turn has been pretty shitty overall, I do like the matches we've gotten. I wonder if they would have been better with him as a face. I don't think it's getting better. I think it's just getting more tolerable now that we're away from Mania and we already know, like, hey, The Rock's not coming. We're not dealing with it. Like, this is all we're getting.
That whole, for the most part, he's talking more normal now instead of the
exactly. He doesn't sound like he.
I hated that.
He's teaching potions at a fucking wizard shop. Yeah, no, now he sounds like John Cena. And Punk's like, you got 18 dates left. 18. I'll leave it up to you because I respect you enough still to which one of those dates I'll take that title off your shoulder. And he's like, if you're not a coward, do it tonight. So then John hypes it up. We get the John Cena rambling on, and he's going to go ahead and let's do it. You want a title? Let's do it. No, match like this, you're going to have to follow me all the way to Saudi Arabia. We're going to do it at Night of Champions.
That was actually such a good heel move. Like,
It's
the
a
place you
great
hate
way
the
to
most,
get
buddy.
Punk in the Saudi show where he could be like, I have to, or else I don't get a shot. And the fans really can't get mad at him, even though we know he must have gotten a payday to go. Because why else would he now agree to
Like, it'll
go?
make him look like a hypocrite as well. Like you're saying I'm a coward for not doing it tonight. So what if you decline the Saudi Arabia show?
I
Does that
also
mean you're a
heard that he
coward
was
as well?
shown the humanity by several people like Raquel Rodriguez and others. They explained to him, like, don't worry about the evil Saudi tycoon agenda that you think is all around. She's like, once you're there, you're around thousands of kids that don't get a ton of entertainment that would give their lives to see you perform in a ring. She's like, you're there to make them happy. She's like, so don't worry about, leave your politics at the door. Just bring CM Punk because you're their hero and they want to see you. And I'm like, that's very cool and very poignant, because when you do see the audience, and even when I was on previous shows as a co-host, I used to say, like, hey, at least the one takeaway is the very first one, you had all of like the princes and the royalty sitting in like sofas, and that's all you saw. They didn't cheer, they didn't clap, they just sat there all stoic and pissed off looking. That was awkward. Then they started to do it where they had like families up front. Now it's all jam-packed with kids and, you know, brothers, sisters,
Fans and
nieces,
actual
nephews. Yeah.
and the
wrestling
Saudi Arabia
fans.
crowds, I'll give, they've been really good.
They have improved
Their crowds are
drastically,
actually really
but I like that it's for the fans now. It's for the fans there. Even if you don't, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to tell people, you know, that want to come here to watch WrestleMania, oh, well, I don't like Trump, so I can't travel to the United States. It's like, no, if you
right.
want to come here for a show, you can come here, because not, you know, you don't have to agree with
Yeah,
what
some
Trump's
people
doing.
actually
And
do that. Like,
oh,
I don't like,
we know,
you know,
I know,
some
but
people,
some people,
Ellen DeGeneres left the country, right? Because
yeah, right. That was after she got what called out for being a terrible person. Be kind, and she just slaps the
Yeah.
shit out of her fucking intern. I said mocha espresso, you cunt. I picture her to be just totally beating the shit out of everybody. That's the only way I picture Ellen. She's dropping leg drops on people on coffee tables. You know it. You know it. You know she's sitting in her
I know.
room and the fucking intern walks in like, here, Ellen, I got your coffee. And then she turns. She's like, did you make eye contact with me? And the intern's all scared like, no, Ellen. She's...
Then the camera pops on, and then there's her
And you
fake ass smile.
And then the guy just disappears, turns to ash, because you know she's a changeling, the original succubus. She turns men's souls to dust. So this was really good. I like the way they positioned, you know, Punk
Jesus
going to
fucking
Mania
Christ.
and not Mania, Saudi Arabia. Excuse me, I have Mania on the brain because they're going to Vegas officially. We'll talk about that in a bit. It was. You're gonna get negative comments no matter what when they involve Punk and Saudi, but this is probably the best way for them to do so. Make it feel like it's forced for his last match with John Cena to have that opportunity. I don't hate that at all whatsoever,
They put it
surprisingly.
into the storyline. That's why they kind of covered it up a bit. Like you have to be a hypocrite if you want a title shot.
Well, part of it too is that I'm happy that we're getting this match at all because we weren't guaranteed anything. With this Cena heel turn, it wasn't like we knew every month we'll get the flavor of the week. Like if they were going to just do highlights, they would have had this match at Money in the Bank, you know?
Well, that's where I think it really should have taken place, honestly, because that's where it all started. That's where it should all end.
But that's not what they're doing. They're not doing a real like nostalgia tour. He's a heel. He wants to ruin wrestling. He doesn't want to give you good memories to go by.
Right. But that's a way to do it too. Like United States cred does not get CM Punk versus John Cena.
Yeah,
they do not. So how's Cena gonna go back to a face? Just apologize for everything and move on?
I think it's gonna be the come to Jesus type moment. He gets beat down by whatever opponent he loses the belt to, possibly Truth, possibly Cody, whoever. And,
it has to be Truth, right? It has to be.
I don't know. It could be Cody. The fans still love them some Cody.
I rather it be Truth.
Do you not want to be a champion, Cody? It could be you.
I do want to be a champion. It could be me, you know?
Oh, Needy. Just edit it
myself.
into the roads. We'll just throw in your last name. So we had a chance. at some redemption here. I think it's going to happen very late, probably the last Saturday night's main event of the year. I can't believe they're having 4 of those. I love Botchamania earlier today. Shout out to Matthew. He always, is top notch. But when we watched Saturday night's main event, like, I was laughing then at Ventura going crazy about Damian Priest just coming and walking out of the cage. He's like, you can't do that. That's not what do you, that's a coward's way to win. That's ridiculous. And he just criticized it the entire time. But I missed the first run-in where he said that, they wouldn't show these types of matches on NBC back in the day. That's how you know times have changed. And it's like, Jesse, you called 2 of them on NBC with Hogan and Big Boss Man. It's like, come on.
He's losing it a
whatever.
little bit.
So it's just funny to see him still just not entirely with it. The first match they gave us was damn good. AJ Styles, Chad Gable. Chad Gable comes out and he is beaten up and injured. Huh, Cody? You know that.
That was, oh yeah, I know it.
Uh-oh, did I lose you again? Poor sir. So we go ahead and we
Can you
get
hear
this
me?
match starting off, and he comes through. There we go. Now I can hear you. It was my
can hear
end.
me?
Yeah, it's not you. It's me.
Alright.
It's my end wanting to mess
But yeah,
up.
AJ Styles and Chad Gable was a really good matchup. How could you go wrong with these two in a ring together?
Yeah, exactly.
Some
Great
people have
match.
said that AJ Styles kind of looks
You got me talking over you. Now we're good. Yeah.
washed.
I don't think it was a botch. The flash clash there at the end.
Yeah.
I think it was planned. They just executed it as perfect as they could quickly. Like, that was great because basically he gets the Styles clash at the end, but
Overall,
yeah, it was just like, because
it was really good.
you got him in the ankle lock and Chad's holding it tight, and then all of a sudden he rolls out of it. And then he just holds on to him and then hits the Styles clash out of the reversal. Like, that was so smooth and so well executed. Of course, Chad did that. Nah, of course he took it. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else could execute that without breaking their neck?
He looked roughed up though, like he went through 2 matches on Saturday, which obviously he didn't.
Obviously he
just
didn't,
looked
but
like he went
his gear
through
did.
2 matches.
This was a really good opening first match for Raw. It was about like 8 minutes long. It was good back and forth action, only one commercial break, thankfully, but for the most part, it was always at an upper type pace. I like this style that AJ is going with, that hey, I'm gonna do everything I can to get myself into the IC title picture, and then I'm gonna beat Dom for that title, unless somebody else takes it first. But it's good to see AJ back in that type of like prime mode. Chad, this bothered me a bit to see him lose again. I mean, we watched him basically lose 3 times this weekend, and that bastard has worked his ass off to go ahead and make everybody else look like $1 million. And I wonder, when is it going to be his time? We saw last year he helped Sammy win at 40, against Gunther. And yeah, he had the Americano match, but I want to see him, winning a big title or get some type of massive achievement. King of the
That's
Ring
another
would have
contender.
been pretty
Like
cool,
I
but
think he should have won Money in the Bank. He would have been
I think that would have been a
a
great
good
option.
contender for that. But
Like you said before, we both predicted Seth, but we didn't want Seth. I really felt like it was a bad idea to pick Seth because, as we were talking earlier, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't, in the sense of like, he doesn't need it. What is he going to do to go ahead and do with the
he
belt?
just asks for he can just ask for a title shot anytime he wants.
And then if he can't get it, he'll force his way to get it. So it is a very interesting, set of affairs. Like, why go that far and have the belt, be an option for him at all at this point in time? Keep him away from the title. He doesn't need the briefcase, and let him just work on making the stable get over. He should be focusing on the stable, those 2 guys becoming tag champs and like building them up into the future stars, and then they elevate him in the process as like a thank you. Will Canada win a Stanley Cup again in my lifetime? I don't know. That's a good question. So all the moose they bring down from Canada, so cold up there. You never know. I doubt it. Probably not in my lifetime. Not in the way that I'm breathing. So,
I heard Canada's bringing us smoke from wildfires again, but
ooh, there we
that's
go. I was going to say, when there's smoke, there's fire. When there's fire, it's hot. Fuck you thinking?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, speaking of hot, Kairi Sane, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Rhea, Mommy Ripley up next. And I in my brief notes, I wrote, holy shit, holy fuck, holy shit, that looked amazing. And I was like, what was it that was amazing? I had to go back and I was like, oh, the springboard
Code
code
breaker. Yeah.
breaker.
That was fucking.
That was awesome. That was incredible. Liv, wow, she delivered in this
You
match and a
couldn't
half.
get it more perfect any other time. That was fucking.
That looked so good. She's been really great at selling those because she did, or like performing, making people sell versus whatever you want to call it. But when she gave it on the double side for the triple threat last week, when she gave 2 code breakers at one time, that was great. Eventually she goes and gets her ass beat too. So basically they started off and you saw right away, Kairi, she just kicks Liv right away and knocks her. And that's when Roxanne goes ahead and tries to knock everybody out of the ring. And she gets tossed out. And Rhea goes ahead and puts Kairi down and then kicks her out as well. And they all end up on the outside. And Kairi gets back in with a big neck breaker. And that's when we finally see Liv and Roxanne. And it looked like they were like planning to work together for a second, but didn't really work out too well, huh? Not really. So they went ahead and they started to go. They got Kairi Sane. They put her over her head and then they threw her right at Rhea. And I'm like, oh, see, they are getting along. Till they weren't. So basically, Rhea hits the riptide on Liv and she has her pin, but Raquel shows up and she saves her.
Was she there to save Liv, or was she there so Roxanne could win?
Now, that's the question. So she pulls Rhea out of the ring. So that's when they start fighting. And then Kairi Sane jumps down from the top and takes all of them out. So now all the women are destroyed. And that's when Kairi goes back in the ring and she's going to hit Liv with the insane elbow. She gets it. And right as she has her beat, Roxanne rolls in and takes Kairi into a little pin of her own. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez defeats all 3 ladies to advance to the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Holy hell. See, now I thought Roxanne might have been the one to win Miss Money in the Bank, but that was not the case.
I thought that would have made the most sense.
You've been touting a line for a while now that's important when it comes to Judgment Day. And under the guise of what's good for the goose is good for the gander type idea.
Yes.
Basically saying like what's good for me is good for Judgment Day. And they tried to paint that picture of it later on in the night. And we'll get there when we get there. But Liv was not happy with her winning. Justifiably so. Liv basically could have had it won earlier. And, it just, like you said, did Raquel come and save
What
Liv?
do you think?
I think she made sure Roxanne won. I think that's what it's going to be.
Because if
going to be revealed as.
Raquel really wanted where was Raquel afterwards? Because if Raquel really wanted Liv to win, why didn't she stop the pin from?
Exactly. I wanted
Roxanne.
Liv to win this, but I like what they did for the story, and especially putting Roxanne in it. Now imagine if Roxanne goes on to win the tournament. She was great in NXT, especially as women's champ. She can deliver a great Queen of the Ring, and that's a way to elevate a new talent, a new star. I'm all for it.
Still go with the same storyline then if Roxanne wins Queen of the Ring, because
oh yeah, absolutely.
Liv is gonna get mad if Roxanne wins, and Finn's gonna be like, "What's the matter?" Yeah, the same line I was saying with when Liv said that to Finn about Dominic winning the Intercontinental Championship.
Exactly. And when they showed the Women's Night of Champions bracket, it was interesting because we saw basically in one of the bottom right-hand side brackets, what's that? Oh, I know what that is. That's Asuka coming back right over here. So we got Asuka, Stephanie Vacour, which Nikki Bella, how did she say it? Oh, she said it messed up. I'd have to hear it again. But
Stephanie Vacquet or something.
Vacquet,
like that.
yeah, Vacquet. You're onto it. So Stephanie Vacquet, Raquel, and Ivy Niles. So that's gonna be a hell of a setup there. Then we have Charlotte, Alexa, Chelsea, and Candice. That's gonna be fun. On the other side, we got Rhea, Kyrie, Liv, and Roxanne. We saw who won tonight in Roxanne. And then Friday on SmackDown, we'll get Jade, Mia Yim, Piper Niven, and Nia Jax. Nia was the former queen of the ring, so interesting there. A lot to take away with that. And then, of course, as we're going through the night, we'll talk about the men's as well. But here is the men's for now. We can go over both weeks of the tournament. So interesting that it is just going to be that quick because they have to build towards the booking so fast and they have to hurry. So we got the first match of Sami Zayn, Penta, Braun Breaker, and Rey Mysterio. This was great, and I believe that's coming up next, right? Yes. So we'll talk about that. Sami Zayn did win, but we'll give you the whole breakdown for it. Then this Friday on SmackDown, we have Randy Orton, LA Knight, Malachi Black, and Carmelo Hayes. Well, here's my thought. I think that LA Knight's going to be taken out by Seth and his goons. Probably Braun and Bronson will come out and beat up LA Knight just to get retaliation for the main event. And then Carmelo hasn't really won anything. Him and Orton will kind of like negate each other, and I think Aleister Black will get the kick and win. So I'm picking Aleister Black for that one.
Speaking about the tournament again, I just have to go back to the women's one. I think that's funny how they just announced Asuka.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I'm
like,
saying. Like, no big return. No. Then they showed a video later on to be like, oh, she's coming back. And I'm like, well, then why did you
What's
show
funnier-
the brackets of the tournament? Why not just wait?
What's funnier is she was just announced, and for the men's, there's a mystery person.
Exactly. Well, that's what we're getting into now, because on the men's, we got the next week's SmackDown. Cody is taking on Priest, Andrade, and Nakamura. So, wow, I'm going to pick Cody for that one. That's going to be a hell of a match. I picked Aleister Black for the one before. And then we have Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson
So
Reed,
they
and a
announced
mystery.
Randy Orton returning again because
Yep.
Randy Orton hasn't been on since Backlash, I believe.
Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and, as we said, take on Knight, Black, and Hayes. So I think that he's not going to win, though. But yeah, the mystery match.
I think LA Knight wins.
I see. I think they're going to take LA Knight out of the match. That's going to be the problem. They're going to beat his ass and take him out of it.
So who do you got for that match?
I was
then?
I was thinking Aleister Black would win.
That makes
Funny
sense
enough.
too. Yeah.
So this Raw, as we said so far, was really good. That opening match was great. The women's fatal four-way was damn good. Roxanne wins. What's good for her is good for Judgment Day. We got the announcement that Asuka's returning, and then they went off to tout about Worlds Collide. So this was pretty cool. They had a huge announcement for this. So in 24 hours, they had Saturday's broadcast had been watched in full by more than 4.1 million viewers on YouTube in the first 24 hours. And then on X, Worlds Collide was the #1 trending topic globally. It generated more than 32 million social views across all platforms. So they ended up having, for live viewers, 764,389 live concurrent viewers across WWE's YouTube channel, which is insane. So congrats to them. I mean, they that's the kind of stuff they need to do. They have these PLEs every now and again. They need to have them be for free not just Peacock. I know Saturday night's main event is supposed to be like, hey, yeah, I get it. But they really need to go ahead and have more of these on YouTube, on social media. Keep things going. Keep things exciting. I want to see things progress. And the best way to do that is you got people that are like, oh, my God, I used to watch Lucha Libre Wrestling. Or, oh, what's going on? This is the new stuff. And they get to see Mr. Iguana, who was extremely over. Now they're going to be selling Mr. Iguana's iguanas. That guy's going to make a ton of money. So good on him. Then we went ahead and we got Nikki Bella backstage, and she's talking to Maxine and Natalia, and she's so fake. Oh, I love you. Yeah, I'll text you right away kind of shit. And she sees EO, and EO's supposed to respect her. EO's like, you dirty cunt. Like, just didn't like her at all. But She had to be like, "Oh, yes, I respect you. I love you." That was it. So pointless just to,
But
inflate
he's
and
really the heel here, right? Because it's like you have to respect me.
yes, exactly. So she just has to go ahead and have that type of reception. Every time she comes in, people have to receive her. I told you people what's going to happen, and people do not care what I have to say about it. Sergio, let us know. I'm listening. So Nikki got to pay that child support. Exactly. So now she's got alimony to pay. So we go ahead and we get Becky coming out, and she said that she spent the weekend celebrating, and she's like, you attacked me after the match. Lyra, you got to come out here. And Lyra comes out, but just as she's about to enter the ring, Bayley returns, and Bayley beats the shit out of Becky briefly. Becky runs and gets out of there and escapes from getting the finisher, the rose plant there. And right as all this chaos was happening, a man in a, balaclava, baklava, his mask and hoodie up, jumped on top of the broadcast announce table. Hey, it's R-Truth again. And he went on, and you saw the tears well up in his eyes as he said, "I'm back because of you all. Y'all." And he's like, you guys didn't just bring truth back. You have me. And he's like, everybody loves R-Truth. I love R-Truth too, but he could be too funny. He could be too nice. He's too forgiving. He's like, I wish, not me. I wish you could feel different, feel alive. And for that, and for anybody that thinks I'm a liar, or if you think I'm a sideshow act, you think I'm a gimmick. And unlike bald, Twitter Ricky, this man pulls out a pair of real and sharp scissors, and he proceeds to cut off every bit of his dreads. Takes his braids one by one, snipping and ripping as the crowd just loses their mind. They are just chanting, "Holy shit," the entire time. Love this crowd tonight. They were great. And he puts down the scissors, and he's like, "The truth, R-Truth, has set me free. I am Ron Killings. I am the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now put some respect on my name." The crowd ate that
I think
shit
he should go back
up.
to either having like no theme song just coming out all like remember when he was a heel in
Yeah, and he would
2011
rap
or whatever. The
and
truth shall
set
me
you
free.
free. And then he had nothing. It was just silence. Loved it.
I think they should go back to that.
I think they are, because they had him use that catch line. So it's going to be weird seeing a bald R-Truth. I agree. But this was like, it was so made better because of the live fans being there. They elevated this to such a degree of how they reacted so positively to him losing his mind. That helped out a great deal.
I think this is just R-Truth's creative freedom showing, and I think that was part
he
of it,
certainly
right?
had to have some type of input here.
Well, obviously with cutting hair because he.
Yeah, and then like I said before that, with Bayley returning, I'm kind of confused. Why have I guess you could have Becky win the belt still, but why not have Bayley return after Becky wins the belt? Or why not have Bayley return and accidentally cost Lyra the belt? Because she said before she doesn't trust, she said, Bayley doesn't trust me anyway. She won't call me back. She thinks, that she was in on it too because she teamed up with Becky. So that's why Bayley didn't hug her. So why not have her come back? Why now? Why Raw? It just feels like, oh, it's because it has to. But it didn't really make all that great deal of sense. Why wait for her to go ahead?
Grab Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I mean, she that would have been a great return for Money in the Bank. That would have made a really good stagnant point. Stand on it, baby, get going. And instead, good
I think
standing
Lyra
point.
needs to just stand her ground, not worrying about Bayley's feelings towards her. Like Lyra needs to be like, I don't give a damn about you either. I'm going after that Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to go through you doing it. That's fine to me too. Like, you can't respect Bayley saying you're a legend, so I have to shake your. Lyra, I think, should be like the tweener almost.
You would think. You would hope. But it just seems like she doesn't care at that point.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, and it shows. So what does Jay do now? I wonder if he's going to be the surprise entrant into the king and queen of the ring, but I'm
I
not
still
sure.
think Drew McIntyre.
Could be Drew, could be a bunch of people, but Gunther has the title now, and I don't think Goldberg's winning the title, but he
I just
might.
see. I
Imagine if
could be
Goldberg
wrong though.
wins that title, and then that's his, and then he makes
Oh,
it
great.
vacant. He just vacates it.
Tell me.
It could happen
Uh,
because
no thanks.
can you picture Goldberg losing his retirement match? I can't. He refused to lose when he
Cena
was
would,
able to
because
put other
Cena would
people
actually
over.
put somebody over.
Yeah, a lot of people have lost, their last matches, but other people haven't too. Flair did, but didn't. Originally he did, and then he didn't, and he didn't, but still,
Then
there's
his other retirement match, and then the one after that. Then after that,
exactly, and after
yeah.
that, but
And
people are
also that one,
shocked. I
probably the one
mean,
coming up.
Conman was shocked. So many people are tweeting right now that they can't believe Gunther's a new world champ. And it's time for, a change. I don't think Gunther's the best thing for this belt either. His run with the IC title was fantastic. His run with this belt certainly felt a little lacking, and it really fell apart when Cody beat him at the Crown Jewel event when they had to go title for title
Yes,
for
I
the
did.
ring. And yeah, when you beat him, bud, that really hurt his stock. And then he went through this whole like losing
Sorry.
confidence thing, and then he tapped out to Jay. So
My
it's just you should have beat him, but I don't know. It just wasn't a great
Yeah, you
feeling to see
texted me
Gunther
privately
lose.
saying
Yeah, you
you're
need to
gonna get me
lose.
for that.
Yeah, I was like, you need to lose, and you're like, no, I have to win. I'm like, God damn it, Cody. God damn it.
Super Cody, I would have to put nobody over. I bury mediocrity.
You do, and you also work, 27 hours a day. So you said you're able to
Yes, I
work,
do.
3 matches in one time zone. Hey, I
You know
I
it.
would kill to have that. What I wouldn't kill for is Gunther being our champ again, and it's not like Jay's run was great or monumental, but it still felt better having a babyface on top.
I think Seth should be the world champion right now. Other people are like, "What? You just want to rush into a Money in the Bank cash in?"
Well, here's
If the
my
timing's
question:
right,
Who
yeah.
is Seth? Not Seth. Excuse me. Who has Jay defended against so far with his title? I'm trying to recall everybody. So,
He faced Logan Paul, right?
yep.
Who else did he face? Braun Breaker, right? Or was it?
I'm
Or
going
was
back
that,
to check matches. So
or
here we
Seth
go.
Rollins? Did he
Matches.
face Seth Rollins
Here we
once?
go. So he defeated Logan Paul. He defeated Braun Breaker, but that was by DQ still. But he defeated Gunther when he won at Mania, and that was it. So he's only had the one actual
Two titles.
defense when he
The
defeated
Braun Breaker
Logan
one
Paul.
wasn't
He
a
won by
title match, was
he
it?
defeated Braun. No, it was by DQ. There was only 3 title matches. The one at Mania that he got it, then the one like a few weeks later that Seth made for the end of the show, and then that's when Braun Breaker joined the group. And then he went ahead and he defended it against Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event. So he hasn't felt
yeah,
like a
okay,
great
so-
champion because he's had no feuds. He hasn't sunk his teeth into anything worthwhile,
People
relatable,
are
or
like,
good.
Jay didn't get a long reign. Like we've talked about numerous times, and I
So-
still stand to this. Not every reign needs to be long.
Jey Uso is so much more. He really is. The problem is that the people saying, well, he's just an entrant. But that's what they boiled him down to at this point. They boiled him down to saying 4 letters, one word, cunt. And then they go ahead and they
That's part of
switch it.
sports entertainment.
Yeah,
That's-
and I get it, but my point is, like, they've watered him down so much while he's gotten worse. I do like Jay. I'm saying he got robbed of having any actual title run here. And if that was the plan, it was almost better he didn't get the belt because he's not had any storylines or anything of merit to defend it over. He hasn't had any feuds, really. It's just been threats from Seth's new
I
group.
think if there was going to be a title change, I don't mind Gunther having it either because match quality wise, as I said, Gunther will put on better matches than
Yeah,
Jay could. But
well,
I think if there's going to be a world title change, it should have been Seth Rollins tonight.
Yeah.
And people can say, oh, Seth Rollins rushed his cash in. We have to go through that again. Sometimes you need a rush cash in because what are you going to do? Go months upon months with a tease cash in. That gets repetitive after a while.
It does. And no, Liz, I'm reiterating just in general that I'm saying, I do like Jay, but I just want to make that known because I know I'm coming down, but that's not it. I really feel like they kind of missed the mark here with him and Gunther and Jay. If you look at the rest of this night, out of every match we got, their match wasn't bad, but it's boring. It's very slow and plodding, rest holds. super kicks and rest holds and sleepers. Oh my, like it really does lack what we got for a lot of the other matches. So the women's fatal four-way felt like a car going 150 in 0.2 seconds. You were just taking off because they didn't have a moment or a break. Then
They just clicked and right away, and
yeah,
oh my god, that.
Penta
What
comes
would you
out.
say match of the night is?
I don't know. I think the men's fatal four-way might be, but
I would eat one
the
of the fatal
women's
four ways.
the women's was really good too, and it was cool that like Rhea went for the Tower of Doom spot again with a double power bomb, and Kyrie like just held on and didn't go for the suplex.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was a botch and she was
Kyrie's
supposed
looking
to
a
go
little better,
over.
but like she still looks sloppy at the same time. I don't know
I'm
what it
curious if
is.
that was a botch though. Was she supposed to go up and over and she just missed it? Because when they left, she put her hands up like this, like oops.
Yeah, I think it was
So
a botch. It
I
looked
think
kind
she
of.
messed up because then when she jumped on both of them, she did this weird maneuver. It was like a weird forearm strike that she never does. So I don't know. I'm old
Kyrie
and
just doesn't
broken.
look like. And how can we keep saying Kyrie like it's the other people? Because tonight she was in there
Again.
with Liv, Roxanne, and Rhea.
Yeah.
3 great wrestlers. So like
There's something
don't
to
know.
it, my friend. There's something to it. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's fire, there's people protesting. That's right. So
She just
we
looks.
got Grayson Waller in the back with the New Day. I liked Grayson Waller basically bitching like, "Hey, I don't want to defend or be part of A-Town Down anymore." That's what he was hinting at, and he's like, "You guys are real legends, real helpful, real real good guys." And then they went on to be like, "We're the New Day. We'll find challengers. We just don't give a shot to anybody." So we'll see what happens. And then that's when we got Nikki coming out, and she had to go ahead and tout from the rooftops, "I made women's wrestling. I am the evolution of evolution, and without me, there'd be no revolution."
That's why she's really the heel in this scenario.
Oh, my bullshit alarm went off again. Sorry, but thank God Liv came out, because listening to, I mean, there was a girl crying in the front row, like reaching out to her, like she saw, the ghost of Michael Jackson assaulting her son. Like, come on. You're crying like that because Nikki's in the ring. I mean, I get being a fan, but that's insane. I can understand if someone comes back like a surprise, but you've known she's going to be there forever. Like you're just crying to cry. Okay, whatever. So she thanks the fans, and I missed you all, and it's good to be home. So are you wrestling? Are you only wrestling at Evolution? Are you just a manager thing? Like, what are you doing? So then Liv comes out, and thank God, because I was about to say, no bullshit, that Nikki Bella was guilty. And Cody, we've got to remind everybody to go ahead and check out our most recent episode of Guilty or Guilt-Free, talking about the feud and rivalry between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Who's guilty? Who's guilt-free? Check that out on the Guilty podcast. We should
do something with the Bella twins, because
I know
they always say how they started the women's
revolution, but did they really? Who's that's a great one before Revolution. Who's guilty and who actually started the women's revolution? I like that. That'd be a good court case to try for us. So thankfully, Liv comes down already on the mic like a little ball of fireball, a little fireball, just to throw that ad.
This was one of the better promos of the year. Holy shit, this was.
Yeah, she was great.
She's
like, "How could you not list me with all the other biggest female stars? I had the title most in 2024. I was Woman of the Year." Like, she lifts off every single accolade. She lists off. She gets through all of it, and she's like, "You're lucky that I wasn't around in your era, because I would have beaten you for your title. And you didn't mention me because you're just jealous of me. And everything that I have, you don't. I have respect. I have a championship, and I have a man." So that's when Nikki's like, trying to make a little bit of a rebuttal.
Oh, people are already crashing out about that on Twitter. I already see right now.
Yeah. So Nikki says
a little bit distasteful.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, Liv, I don't know if your man belongs to Liv or Roxanne," trying to be like, "Oh, stirring the pot." And she's like, "Congratulate Roxanne for taking your title shot and your man." And that's when Nikki goes to leave the ring, and she stops on the apron, and Liv's like, "Hey, I am a champion, and all Nikki you'll ever be is a reality show diva. And just as she goes to climb back through the
Block
ropes,
it.
yeah, what happens? Love it.
Oblivion.
Hits her with the
Woo.
oblivion that left her lying, crying, and dying. That bitch could
That was
not do a
fucking
thing.
great.
Summon the Undertaker and take her away, please.
Holy shit, that was
Yeah,
good.
because she was roasted, toasted, and dead, my friend. There was nothing left. She was
They should give
obliterated by
Liv
the
Morgan
oblivion.
more mic time, by the way, because if
Liv
they let
was
her come
damn
promo,
good
she
here.
can go.
She was so exciting here because it felt
It's more
non-scripted.
like
It felt real. Again, somebody cutting the Bellas down to size is not anything new. They've gone to that well dozens of times, but this one felt a bit more personal
Liv felt
because
disrespected, like she was
yeah,
talking
because
about the top
Liz,
woman, and
you
you're not
know,
gonna pay
Liz
me.
agrees. I think at one point in time, you know, we never liked the Bellas, but we got used to it, and I think that's kind of what happened here. We forget how much good talent we have.
I like Nick. I like Nikki. Brie, not so. Nikki's good in the ring.
Nikki
Brie,
improved. Brie was never great, and
I think
injured quite a
Nikki
few people.
had to fit the role. Like, all right, we're changing and evolving, so we need to get better. I think Nikki improved, and so she can hang with these women. I
Could
think
be.
you can just see Nikki put an effort to get better in the ring. Brie did not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just going to be them.
And
Or
no,
is it?
no disrespect towards Brie. I don't want to.
I had this idea, and I
You're a
wonder.
Brie fan, but
Yeah, exactly. But what do you think of this? My original idea was like, all right, these two are going to face off where? Saudi Evolution, right?
Are
No,
they gonna
I
go
say
Saudi
Saudi.
with us?
I say Saudi. I knew you were going to say Evolution. I say Saudi because, excuse me, I'm full of air. I went ahead and I feel like they're going to have them face off in a singles match in Saudi where Raquel helps Liv win. And then at Evolution, it'll be tag title match between the Bellas and Liv and Raquel.
Is this where Raquel betrays her?
I don't know. I don't think they give the Bellas the tag titles? They could for a quick turnaround. That'd be a big pop. And that imagine Raquel turns on her then and there. That'd be great.
I think that would be a good thing. Get the titles off Liv and Raquel right now.
Yeah, they need to get it off of
because,
them. There's no reason for them to have. They're not going to be able to keep defending them.
Defend the titles against who? Who do you want them to defend them against?
There's no women's tag division to defend it against. That's why I said the only one that's done tag team wrestling right for the females is TNA.
That's why I'm saying have Liv and Raquel go on a TNA pay-per-view or something and fucking defend the titles there against their women's tag titles champions.
I've said for years now, where is Tay Conti in AEW? Where has she been? Where has she been? I know she left, to have a child, but now it's been like years. It's like, what the hell is going on? And now they finally brought her back on the last 4-hour show, and it's like, they immediately want her and Anna Jay to have the tag team titles be brought into AEW. And it's like, no, they don't need more belts either. Like, this is... who do you think the mystery guy could be? Oh, I'm going to ask the chat as well. But yes, Liz, do tell. Who do you think it could be? I'm curious. They signed behind Gunther, deadbeat. That is what described. Yeah, that was great. There was some good signage tonight, too. So she was breastfeeding. Makes sense. So Tay couldn't go ahead and lay down the smack talk. But she did wrestle quite a bit with her husband. Yiggity yow. And then, of course, we got our final match of the night, the fourth match. And it was the main event. We had Jey Uso taking on Gunther. Ooh, Cross is a great one to have added to the King of the Ring qualifiers. Yeah.
Role.
He'd be great.
I think it has to be someone that fits that body type that they're going with.
Cross can do it. He's a big guy. He's very, very, very strong. So they early on, they really touted about how this was their rematch from WrestleMania. Oh my God. Jay got the sleeper and that's how he beat him.
Actually, sorry to go back on that. I think
go ahead.
Cross actually might be it for the pop.
It would be great.
I think Cross is.
Especially because it's the SmackDown side, right? So.
Is that the one that has the mystery?
Let me go ahead and double check here while we have my brain catch up. Where is it? Night of Champions. How do you know? Here we go. Nope, that's the women's. I'm an idiot. Here it is. I found it. Yeah, that's on the Raw side, not SmackDown. But still,
Okay.
I wonder because Raw, SmackDown, Raw.
Sometimes
So
I'm lost on
Sheamus,
who's on what
Rusev,
show anymore.
Reed, and Karrion Cross, Killer Cross definitely fits. Karrion does in that spot. Yeah, Nakamura,
I'm used
Andrade,
to calling
Priest,
him
and
Killer
Rhodes.
Cross. Well,
I
because
do
you
that
know
a
me,
lot
I
still
only
too.
mostly know him from his Killer Cross
I do
stuff.
that a
But
lot still too. I forget all the time. I'm terrible like that. But it is a hell of a bracket. So, and yeah, it's on the Raw side, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. We got Jay and Gunther out there. They had them do the big entrance for Jay. Most of it was kind of like in the break, and then they went and they had early on. Jay gets the sleeper hold like multiple times, but Gunther keeps getting out of him, and he's basically rolling out and not getting pinned. Then Gunther tries to get a sleeper, and Jay escapes. Now they're on the floor. Jay goes to dive, but Gunther hits him so hard. I mean, so hard. And lays him out, comes down to the floor. And that's when you finally see Jay. He's about to be thrown to the wall, but he reverses it, and Gunther gets run to the ring post there. So that hurts. And Jay's trying to get him up for a suplex, but then Gunther counters and hits him with a German suplex on the floor. So now we go to commercial, and Jay is laid out, hurting bad from that. We see them trade a big Uso splash and into for a big clothesline on the opposite side. More sleepers. Jay super kicks Gunther and then applies his own sleeper again. And that's when Gunther does his sleeper and then a big power bomb and another near fall. Like they just kept going back and forth. Sleeper, finisher, kick out, kick out. And towards the end, Gunther, he basically gets Jay on the ground. He locks on the sleeper, but Jay escapes. He gets on his feet, and then Gunther gets him back down again. And then Gunther lets go, and he just starts beating him with the elbows in the head repeatedly, over and over and over. And he puts the sleeper on, and he locks it in again. And that's when, Jay gets to put Gunther in a sleeper hold and has him down on the mat. And then Gunther escapes, and he hits him with more elbows. And then he applies the sleeper. And Jay, he's going out. He's fading, gone. The ref lifts his arm. Ding, ding, ding. Bell is rung. We have a new champion. And that is Gunther. And this was not an exciting match. It wasn't bad. It was not a bad match, but it lacked that spontaneity because it was so focused on the sleeper hold of the submission. That is a very minimal requirement for viewing. Like you can listen to it while doing something else. You're like, oh yeah, you still got to sleep. It's not engaging. It's not capturing your attention. It's not bringing your eyes in. Like I feel like submissions should be very rare, and when they're being used, they should be like the most deadly thing in the world. People got to tap them
I
immediately.
100% agree. Yeah.
If I ran a promotion, I'd be like, no one uses finishers unless it's cleared with us, and it's going to be a rarity. Get them out of your move set. No more finishers, because
Because
you could do damage applications, like if you want to stretch somebody's leg out or things like that, and it's a half crap. Yeah, but but like they do with the sleepers and stuff like that,
just get more creative with your matches. I think.
Yeah, you can warrant and make it go in, but
boom, boom, boom.
They relied on that so heavy because the storytelling of, that's the only way Jay got the win at Mania. So if he doesn't make him sleep, he can't get him to do anything else. He's like, I got him to tap. I got to do it again. It's like, well, why can't you just beat the shit out of him without making him tap?
This was a decent match because Gunther doesn't have bad matches. I think it's impossible.
There was no interference either, thankfully. I was expecting this to go to the Shenanigan City. I thought, all right, Seth's going to try and cash in but not be successful. I thought Bronson and Braun would attack.
Then LA Knight come out or something?
He came out in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking maybe LA Knight would have. Because some people thought Seth would have cashed in and then LA Knight would have cost him. I'm like, we can't have a
it was basically when Penta. I'm too overtired, you idiot. So, all right, I'm working on it. We're going to hook that up to a shock collar for me. And every time I say something wrong, you guys in the crowd are going to be able to, that'll be fun. Keep me awake. Come on, chat. Hit that like button.
Don't put one on me because how many times I misspeak, I would be fucking.
Oh, then we turn you into
electrocuted all night.
Yeah, paraplegic at that point. We'd electrocute your nerves into into putty. That wouldn't be good. I need you around. So, Yeah, that was the Dominic, Sammy, Braun Penta match that LA Knight showed up for. Because he got right into Braun Breaker and he hit him with the BFT. And then that's when Zayn hit Dom with the exploder suplex and the haluva kick and got the 3 count. So it was because of LA Knight. Yeah, this match, like I said, for them to not even like tease Seth, but they did earlier in the night with him teasing Cena. It's like, but I thought you wanted this belt. I thought that's what he's been going after. That's what he wanted the briefcase for. And now he's like, you know what? In fact, I want Cena. I don't know. It doesn't sell for me. It's not working. I feel like they're just missing a few steps. You already have the awkwardness with Cena and the fans being like, you people, even though he's gotten more support now than ever before.
Yeah, this is Cena that we should have gotten 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm curious how you guys would have booked Raw differently.
10.
Would you have had Jay retain? Would you have him lose but have interference? Or because now he lost clean, just like at Mania Gunther did. So it doesn't bury Jay, but it certainly doesn't help his stock at all. It doesn't elevate it. I mean, now he loses the title. He didn't have a long reign at all. It was very quick. It was less than, 2 months? April, 22nd, something like that. We're not even there yet. So he's barely had 2 months. Speaking of numbers, SmackDown did a 1.424. It was up from a 1.383, but still not great. They did do well with a 0.42 in the demo. And then June 25th in Philadelphia, they're going to have at the 2300. So that's a Wednesday. So you guys know, I wish I could go. Wednesday night, June 25th, from 7 to 11 at the 2300 Arena, where all ECW shows were originally, broadcasting from. They said they're going to celebrate the life and legacy of the legendary Sabu. This memorial is open to the public. So that's got chaos written all over it, with that being open to the public. But this was the Blue Meanies tweet that I retweeted earlier, so you guys can see that. But it's a hell of a cause. You can go there, hang out with the wrestlers. Don't be creepy or anything, but go there and hear everybody talk about Sabu and how awesome he was. The 2 ECW shows I did get to see, like I said, the one I saw with Taz where I had Moolah and May sign my shirt and stuff for my birthday.
This is open to the public, though?
It is. It is. Yeah, the second one.
I worry about that.
He was there and Sabu fucking killed it. And he was so good afterwards about going, like letting the fans go up to him and shake his hand and shit. So some sad news is Brian Cage had to go ahead and have a knee replacement done. So he's only 41, very young for knee replacement surgery. Apparently something went pretty damn wrong with his initial injury and it only got worse. I've had my knee rotoscoped. I need a replacement myself, but I've had the rotoscoping, so I know how not fun that is. So poor guy, I hope he heals soon because that does not look great. But he's out there working on it. He's doing the rehab, and then he's bigger than ever. He's still the Swolverine. Jesus, the beard like that looks good, though. It's a good look on him. Only makes me feel like less of a man. Okay, get that off my screen. I'm starting to get into too much Pride Month with him on there. And then this Wednesday, we've got the Super Edition of AEW. They're going ahead and having their 4-hour plus block for Run Over. Because, we all love fucking 4 hours of AEW, right?
Didn't they already do their 4-hour show?
Was
that last week? 4 hours, right?
Yep.
Did I lose you? Or?
No, we're just working through the psychotic rage.
Oh, okay.
Took in the happy pills. I just had to. I had to take some of the fucking happy pills, Cody, because this shit. Any event. So another 4-hour block of Dynamite and Collision that nobody will end up watching Collision, but we got Will Ospreay versus
so it's 4
Swerve
hours
Strickland.
again.
Yes, this Wednesday. Then we've got the contract signing for the AEW International Championship and the AEW Continental Championship, both on the line. They are finally unifying the International Continental title. That's a big mouthful. So Okada and Omega, what is this, like their 9th match? I have no interest in seeing this. They're older. Okada is like a shell of his former self. This iteration of him is terrible. He barely does anything in the ring most times. Like he's the anti-bump machine at this point. Yes, he's had a few decent moments, but not matches, moments. And some of the stuff with Ricochet was okay, but the rest of it was just Ricochet performing moves on or around him. Like, Okada is nowhere near the level he was back in New Japan. Omega has not been the same since coming back from injury, unfortunately. I mean, he's gotten fucked up repeatedly, that poor guy. And it's a hard thing with the diverticulitis. You lose pieces of your intestines. It's going to be a bit more of a long road. And if he takes any type of bump towards his stomach or his intestines, that can aggravate things. Not saying it's going to kill him, but it could cause a great deal of pain. So he's got to be extra careful. So we got Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Then we got the signing between Kenny and Okada. We have Toni Storm taking on Julia Hart in a non-title match with Mercedes Moné on commentary. So they're not charging you $100 to listen to her on commentary. That's cool, at least. Then we got the Hurt Syndicate. They're going to be out there. Bobby, Shelton, and MJF taking on Commander, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey. So interesting that they're not using MVP, but they are using MJF. We're going to see MJF wrestle for the first time in ages. Holy shit. And then we got Kyle Fletcher against Anthony Bowens. Mystico appears, and then Tekla, however you want to say her name, against Queen Aminata, so the Spider Lady. None of this sounds remotely interesting. Kyle Fletcher and Anthony Bowens does nothing for me. Mystico is a joke. Tekla, I can see the YouTube clip of her and the Queen. The six-man between Bobby Benjamin and MJF taking on Commander Kevin Hart and Mike Bailey. So the team of jobbers that are karate men are going to get beat by the big black guys that are angry. And it's almost Juneteenth, so you better watch out. Bobby Lashley eats people like you for breakfast. Tony against Julia Hart. I wonder who's going to win there. Like, none of this sounds exciting. People are like, oh yeah, AEW's in its resurgence. They're getting hot again. Ospreay and Swerve will be good if they don't do 1,000 acrobats with it. I mean, I will check that out, but there's nothing else, honestly, on this card that makes me go, oh, I need to watch this live. NXT has quite a bit going on. We got Obafemi versus Jasper Troy for the NXT Championship. Now, people are like, oh, Obafemi can never lose. Motherfucker, did you not just see what happened 2 weeks ago when JC Jane beat Stephanie? Everybody thought Stephanie Vacay was the women's darling for NXT, and she'd be the, no, you're gone too. Obafemi, they want to take him up to the main roster yesterday. If he drops the title to the LFG guy, you know what it does to LFG? It makes that show a proven commodity, something that works. They took pen to paper and turned it into an actual product. They took these guys in, they coached them, and now they have a champion that fans are excited to see, possibly. That's incredible. So now people will want to tune into LFG more. That gives that a rub. It gives Obafemi a chance to go up to the main roster. And that's what makes me think, who fits as a big, muscular, meaty man? What do you think, Cody?
I don't know.
Oba-fucking-Femi, that's who. If you look at that bracket, Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, Obafemi.
Now that's absolute cinema.
Obafemi is my pick, and that's why I wanted to wait till I got to the NXT portion.
I actually like that a lot.
I think Obafemi is going to lose the title. I will be live tomorrow after NXT. Usually we're doing it going forward into somewhere weekly. It'll be Wednesdays. But with this being the fallout from Money in the Bank, and I heard that there's supposed to be a very shocking title change on this show. And right now there's 2 title matches. We got Obafemi and Jasper Troy, but then we also have Ethan Page and Sean Legacy. Ethan Page does not need the title for a long time. He only held it for a couple of weeks when he had the main title, and then it got back around. It's just for the moment. He got it. He won it. And now imagine he loses to Sean after defending it to everybody over this past weekend at Worlds Collide. He survived a fatal 4-way all on his own. He did it without cheating, really, just a little bit of cheating. Just a little, just a smidge. could see them doing this for Sean Legacy. A couple weeks back, he got himself so over that when he came out, the fans were asking, "Who are you?" When he left, they were chanting his fucking name from the rafters. Everybody was screaming Sean Legacy. Legitimately, like, it was incredible to see how he got the crowd not only to yell his name, but be behind him and on his side. Now when he comes out, the place goes nuts. They want to see him. They know they're going to get good in-ring action. This match is going to be great. I could picture one or two things. If Obafemi's not getting the title, then Sean Legacy is. Now, I know that sounds like a cop-out,
so?
but I don't think Legacy's winning yet, but I do think Jasper Troy is possibly taking that title. I could have it backwards, but one of these two titles is going to fucking elsewhere. I'm telling you right now, Cody, I'll bet you my left nut on it. One of these two belts is handing over to either Jasper or Sean.
I see Jasper more, honestly.
I do as well, but Sean holding the mid-card belt and being able to take that to the Evolve tapings and showing, like, I came from Evolve and now I'm a champion. Again, it's a proven formula scenario. You're showing that people that go to Evolve can become champions and successful and move their way up. I appreciate the applause, but I will give my left nut for that one. I only got two right ones, so that's the trick. Here's the honest thing, though. We got Tony D and Luca Crucifino. I'm talking mush words. That's lack of sleep still hitting me. Taking on High Rise. So that's interesting in its own right, because we got to see if Crucifino's on Tony D's side. Can the family be a family again? Where's Rizzo? Does she come back? Is Stax going to come out and attack Tony and Luca not help? I think that's what's going to happen. I think Stax is going to show up. He's going to beat the shit out of Tony while Luca's in the ring busy. Luca's not going to save Tony, and then they're going to lose, and then Tony's going to be like, see, I knew I couldn't trust you. And really, Luca's on Tony's side, but he's being pushed into the opposite direction. So you don't want Oba in the match? I could see Oba winning. He goes in, he wins. Because I'm sorry, who else is it going to be? Who's a big name that they would save for that spot? On Raw, Cody, I can't think of anybody else that's a
the only one that would say that would fit that role is Drew McIntyre, but I don't think it's him yet. I think he's going to be back at a later date. I think Obafemi actually fits the mold perfectly, and I would honestly love to see it. Does that mean it's official call-up or just a surprise?
I think it would be official call-up. That's how I would take it.
Which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think he's going up to the main roster. I know they said he is soon, but I mean, Cross is another one that's not in any block yet, so that would fit because it's on the side for him. So he fits in on the Raw side. He's supposed to be the Raw roster, and we'll see. But I don't know. What's going on? TJ Knows Wrestling
actually is perfect.
He's a great pick. I'm sorry, I'm taking credit for that one, but I haven't seen you in a long time either. Glad to see that I'm doing well. I am doing well. I'm hanging in there, TJ. I'm glad that you're in here. I wish they'd do something with Cross too, Liz. It's been too long now. But speaking of doing something, I'm going to be a guest on the Around the Ballpark podcast. Go figure. Make sure you check out those guys. I'll be sure after this video gets re-uploaded as a on-demand video to have the info in the description box down below. And they're going to have me on the 22nd, that upcoming Sunday night. So we'll go ahead and see what I do there with my limited baseball knowledge and previewing WWE stuff. It'll be fun, but make sure you check them out on Twitter at Around T Ballpark. And I'll be over there for a one-off.
I would be good on that podcast.
Oh, absolutely. You'll be the next guest, no doubt about it. But these guys, they're big wrestling fans too, so it's going to be a fun time over there. I'll put up more information as it gets closer, but I'll be there on the 22nd. So anybody out there that wants to join podcasts or branch out, these guys are great. If you know your knowledge, you'll be good to go. Besides that, I mean, I would give this Raw an 8, maybe even 8.5. Yes, Liz, I'm dying to before the SmackDown episode airs this week. It's been a incessantly tough few days this week and weekend, but we're getting there. We're getting to hopefully have some free time. So I would give this Raw an 8 easily. It was very, very good. If anything, I would have liked to have seen maybe one more match thrown in feasibly. I mean, they did get out of there early, but I loved the R-Truth segment. I loved Liv's segment. I loved the backstage segment. So Domino's warming up for Domino's. Dominic, you know I'm tired. Jesus Christ. Ugh. So Domino's. Dominic I got an X on that one, dude. 2 more and I fail. So the price is wrong. Dominic Mysterio goes ahead and he's warming up. And Finn and JD are right next to him. They're all bumping fists. And Balor's like, I'm upset I'm not in the tournament. And Dom's like, you had your shot at Money in the Bank. That didn't work out. So I didn't think you would mind if I was in King of the Ring. So Balor, he doesn't seem upset. He's like, everything's working out perfectly. And that's when Roxanne showed up. And he's like, make sure you guys let her know. And they kind of agreed, but then they're like, no. And that's eventually when we got Liv to walk in. And she's like, hey, what are you celebrating kind of thing? And then she's like, I'm just trying to help, Roxanne is. She's like, I'm just trying to help, by stopping Kyrie. And Liv goes to her and says, is that what you did? Well, congrats then. And then they walked out, and Balor's like, you should go talk to her. And Dom's like, I got a match. And he was like, or not. And then he just laughs like an evil bastard, knowing that if he doesn't go talk to her, it's just only going to get worse. Yeah, Knifey Buckeye. Killer Cross would be a great one for that opening spot. I really do wonder who's going to be in this spot right here. This one, right there, somewhere. Woo, down there. But yeah, all in all, what would you give Raw tonight? I'm at a solid 8 out of everything.
8.10, 8 out of 10. I think that's a good fair. I would say 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8. Yeah.
If you're going 8.10, that's a 9. But no, yeah, 8 out of 10, even between like 7.5 and 8.
See, there we go.
I agree.
Electric
really.
collar.
And yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate Jay losing the belt because he hasn't really had a chance to have a full-on title run. Yeah.
If we were to have electric collars around our necks or whatever, I would have just been zapped 8.10.
Yeah, you would have sat there just, every time you get something stupid, say, oh, I would shock the shit out of you, especially if I had it hooked up to the Stream Deck. Like, it would just be so many dials in front of me. Like, I can make the light bright. I can make the light bright. I could change the temperature on it. So I would hook the shock up to that. And
like this dark scenery lab or
so
whatever.
Bright. I mean, it's so bright. Go back to being more, make me jaundice. There we go. There we go. All right. That's a little better. So, yeah, if we get a dial of that with the shock collar, I've seen them do it on a few other podcasts. Low Count Queens did it. I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. I want to electrocute your ass.
Ooh.
You heard that.
I thought we were talking that.
Fuck, that's 2 strikes. Oh, I'm going to be in trouble. God damn it. There's one thing I do want to bring up.
That's for our OnlyFans page, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Seth a lot.
$69.99.
It is. It's on sale for the rest of the month. So it's a June special.
9th.
If you use,
now it's by the way.
Well, no, it's the 10th now. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's 610. But if you use the code 69, it'll still get you $6.99 off of our package. That is $69.99. So you'll love it. Make sure you go over to Jake and Cody giganticcock.us.gov.
I'm gonna lower even a little more for them.
Oh.
How about $69.69?
Damn, you're even giving more of a discount. Now that's loyalty, friends. Make sure you go ahead and stop on over at the website. That's Jake and Cody's giganticdicks.gov. You got any more? No? Do we sell out of all the blowjob machines too, or?
I mean, I don't know. Don't want to blow all our loads tonight,
Yeah, well, gotta film it.
Day.
So, don't give away the secrets.
Okay.
I've enjoyed Raw. It's been good, but SmackDown, they have a different winner over there for Money in the Bank. And I know that Sir Spaz was not happy with Money in the Bank, certainly. He had a hard time with that. And
you have to make a 911 phone call and all that for him, man. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So I went ahead and, I just had to do what had to be done. And I told Spaz yesterday, like, just talk to me. It's okay. If Naomi does win, you'll be all right. And he just kept freaking out, yelling this crazy stuff. So eventually I couldn't get through to him clearly, and I had to call 911. And that's why Spaz isn't here tonight. So they uploaded the 911 call. Let's go to that really quick, Cody.
911, what's your emergency?
Yes, I need help. My good friend, he went ahead and he saw Naomi win, and I think he's losing it. He's huffing and puffing around the place, and I think he's going to hurt some. I just Spaz.
Naomi.
No, Spaz. I know she won. You got to do your breathing.
Naomi.
Spaz.
211 Silver Hollow Road between Lane Road and Cross Patch Road. 0933 5632.
Just real harrowing, terrible stuff there, and
Yeah.
thoughts go with the Spaz Phoenix family and friends. They're calling it the Naomi massacre, and
Police are at my door. Am I like assessment because I predicted Naomi to win, and are they after me now?
No, just play that MP3 that I told you to play. You'll be fine. Got the cops theme song on a loop, as well as somebody firing a shotgun. Remember, just turn the volume up all the way when you play it. You'll be all right. Yeah, looking through the nightly news, that's about it. We have the NXT preview, as we said. Obafemi, Jasper Troy. I think Jasper Troy is taking that title, just like the police are going to take Cody out of his house. Then Ethan Page is defending against Sean Legacy. They're fighting over the North American Championship. Again, if one loses, the other doesn't. But I envision one of the two losing their titles. But I'm going to say where Ethan Page retains, Obafemi loses. And then Tony D and Luca lose because of Stack's involvement against High Rise. So we know that's going on tomorrow. We also are going to hear from Miss Mariah May. We don't know if she's March, June, or whatever now, but a lot of speculation.
July, maybe?
It could be, but all in all, people seem to be very high on this episode of Raw so far. I'm looking at the overall polls, and it seems to be at about a B currently, which seems pretty fair, which we said. It's at 44% for a B and 42% for an A, and the rest are C average. So interesting poll, a lot of votes. Good to see over there. Anything else you want to add, my good man, before we get out of here and try and catch up on some rest for us both before NXT is live tomorrow night? That's why everybody should be making sure that they're hitting the bell, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up button. And then when you can, comment down below as well. Let us know your rating for Raw, not just in the live chat, but in the comments too. And any questions or suggestions you may have.
Covered basically everything. I like your idea on Obafemi.
I mean,
I think that makes the most sense.
I'm probably wrong, but I
No, there's a chance with that. It has to be someone that there's a reason why they're all in it together. You're not gonna throw those three, then just some.
It's what happens. Gunther winning gets no eat, Liz said, and she was high till the ending. She was high on the show. I was high throughout the entire show. I'm high now, and I still think it was very good. Gunther, maybe not the best choice, but the better option for right now if they want to heal. Because you don't want Jay going up against Goldberg. You want to heal for Goldberg to conquer. It may not even be for the title, because what if it is, though? Goldberg wins the title, and then somebody cashes in? Like, that would be diabolically great. We'll see. You don't know. Imagine Goldberg wins the title from Gunther, and then Seth cashes in on Goldberg at his retirement. That would be a lot of heel heat for that. That would be crazy.
Would you say that would be cinema?
It would be absolute cinema. Cody, tell the people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. And you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
Absolutely. And then you can find me on Rumble, on Twitter/X, on Instagram at Countdown Ended. And you can find me right here on YouTube, Jake Countdown Ended DeMarco. Feel free to, message me. My DMs are open on all those social media platforms. I'd like to take that in. And we go ahead and appreciate every one of you liking, subscribing, commenting, checking out the shorts, coming back each night to chat with us in the chat. And I can't say it enough, but thank you, all of you, for getting me to over, at this point in time, 7,600 subscribers. It's incredible. We're at 7,640 at this current time. So I can't thank you all or find the words to properly thank you all enough. But I hope you all stay sexy. Have a great night, and we'll see you live tomorrow night on Into Somewhere for the NXT review. Until then, this is Cody. I'm Jake. Stay sexy. Have a great night.
At the banana spot. Again.
town.